people, it's Kat here at Spiritual Candy. I hope you're really well. Here I am with the next in the series of my love vlog. I'm trying to do different things each week on different topics. However, I do have like a continual series now about my writing, because that's the thing that I'm really passionate about. So that's what I'm wanting to talk to you about as well. Any of you out there who are like budding creatives, or you are interested in the writing journey, yeah, so just if you're interested in that. So today I'm talking about my writing. I did mention it a little bit on my January favourites as one of my favourite things, but this is kind of just like an introduction to this series. So basically I've written on and off all my life. When I was a child, I used to write a lot. So instead of playing or going out with my friends, I would often write. I'd write stories about ponies, about animals, and was really into it. And then when I was a teenager, I also wrote quite a lot of poetry. I wrote which is quite dark. I wrote a couple of plays. Yeah, I was really interested. I loved Tom Stoppard's Arcadia, and it like inspired me into writing plays, that and Oscar Wilde. So I got into writing plays. I wrote a few plays, and then I wrote a children's book called Reginald Rich. So I wrote that. Clearly none of these got published. It kind of makes it sound like I did like amazing things, they're probably really bad. But anyway, I was always really interested in writing. When I went to university, I did philosophy, and it's very, very heavy on the reading and writing. I loved it. I always did coursework modules, so I could write a lot of essays. I'm terrible at exams anyway. I always panic, so I loved that. I loved doing my thesis. Unlike a lot of people who panic about doing thesis and hate it, I loved it. About 4 or 5 years ago, I did an MA in philosophy of mind, which I did about Spinoza, and loosely around the pantheism, if anybody knows anything about philosophy. Yeah, so I did a thesis in that, which I loved. I don't know why it took me so long to realise that writing was my thing. I tried all sorts of things. I've always been interested in all the arts. I love the arts. But because I was quite artistic and quite musical, I was I don't know whether it was that my family kind of encouraged me in that way, or whether it was me, or is the friendships I had. I don't know. But I kind of always felt more of an inclination towards music and art. So I did music for a long time. Most of my 20s, I was trying to make it in music, singing, writing, working for a music company. I did quite a lot of things in music. It didn't work for me. It wasn't quite right. And then I swapped to art, and I did art for a short time, maybe about 18 months, painting. I have sold some of my paintings. I got a small publishing contract. It went okay. I did all right. But again, with art, I always knew I wasn't super talented. I haven't got like a massive talent. I'm okay at it. I'm not amazing. So, bringing it back to the point, I kind of got myself really, just then I panicked that I hadn't pressed record. That's why I sort of went, it's because I was looking at the bottom of the screen instead of the top. Oh dear, this break has had an effect on me, I don't even know how my camera works now. Anyway. So I really got into, even though I've written all through my life, and the other point here is that I journal, write diaries and stuff. I've done this a lot for a long time, but I just never really worked it all out and realised that this was where my passion lay. I didn't understand at all. Retrospectively, I think, well, how could I not have known? But, that's the way it works sometimes, isn't it? So what happened was, about 2 years ago, I started writing properly. I was in a particularly bad time. I would say it's probably definitely the dark night of the soul. It was the worst time for me. About 3 years ago, 2 to 3 years ago, and I started reading a book. It had exercises in, like a transformational book. It had exercises in. So I started writing down the questions and the answers in, I actually did it on my tablet. I was on holiday. So, and then I started getting ideas and thoughts that kind of seemed a bit relevant, but they weren't totally relevant to the questions. So I started I kept then a diary, and then it just grew from there. So since then I have written 2 books that I finished. I have written half of another book, an ebook that's finished pretty much, and the 4th book that's part written. I've also written loads and loads of blog posts in the last month that I am going to start putting up on my website, which is www.spiritual-candy.com. So I'm putting, basically they're on all different types of transformational topics. So, hopefully if you check them out, they might interest you. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. So really, I'm now kind of wanting to take you along with me as I try to kind of break into the writing world. I felt for ages, ever since I've been doing the channel, that I'm here to kind of help people to really open up to love, to open up to happiness and freedom. That sense of freedom that comes from that awakening to that point where you are happy, where you are open to love and feeling that inner love, and you're able to sort of bring that into the world. I'm really, really interested in all of that, and I feel like this is what I'm here for. Now, I know I do my readings and things like that, and I think that's an important part, but I definitely feel called to writing and speaking through my writing and speaking about my writing. So that's what I'm doing here. So that's just to explain to you where I am, why I'm doing it, and yeah, just to inform you. So I hope some of you are interested in this and that you are going to join me on the journey. As I say, I'm not going to do a vlog on it every week, but I'll do vlogs about how I'm going along and what I'm doing. I do actually want to do another video though, which I'm just going to do straight away now. So this will come up maybe in a week or 2. But I know what I want to talk about for the next video on this, so I'm just going to go right ahead and do it now. So you'll see in a couple of weeks a video. I'll look exactly the same because I literally did them at the same time. So yeah. Anyway, it's great to speak to you as ever. I don't think I've got anything else to tell you other than this is what I'm doing. This is my main thing. Yeah, I'm teaching. I love the children. I appreciate the job, but I know I'm called to writing. I feel very strongly that's the case. Of course, that could change. We never really know, do we, what's happening entirely on our awakening journeys, etc. By the way, my washer is on in the other room and it's so loud. I just suddenly thought when it stopped, I thought, I hope you can't hear it. So sorry if you can hear my washer. Yeah, anyway, I've lost my thread now. I want you to know basically about my writing and why I'm doing it. And I hope that some of you are interested and that it will be really nice as well. I've watched a few vloggers that that vlog and make videos about writing. So I want to talk about what I'm doing and how I'm getting on with it. And so if anybody else out there is writing about transformational stuff and trying to break into the market and trying to grow a following and trying to get their work published, it would be great to sort of speak to you and get to know about it. So, please contact me if you want to. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. And I know what I was saying. I was saying about the fact that I appreciate my job of teaching, and I do. I love the children. I appreciate it a lot, and I think it's one of the most important jobs ever. However, I don't feel guilty in saying that. As much as I love it, I know that it's not that writing is better or for any other reason than it feels like me. And I think life purpose personally is not about doing what you're good at, although obviously if it's your life purpose, chances are you are good at it. But it's not just about being good at something. And I've written a blog post about this, about how to identify your life purpose, because I've been thrown out by loads of red herrings to do with life purpose. The thing is, when I write, I feel completely like me. Totally like me. There are no frictions, there are no conflicts. It's totally me when I'm either writing or talking about my writing. But teaching, there is a conflict within me and around me. It's not huge, and I appreciate the job and I do love it, but it's not completely me. And other things that I do, I love them, I appreciate them, but it's just not totally me, and writing is. So that's just to clarify. So that's why I want to move more towards that, and I'm hoping that will happen. Of course, if it is my purpose, I feel quite strongly, I have a strong faith that if that's what I'm meant to do, that it will be, if I put the right effort in and put the sort of my best foot forward, if you like, in it, that it will manifest. So if it's meant to be, it will be, sort of thing. Anyway, guys, I just wanted to update you about my writing. I hope you're well. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please, can you like the video? Please, will you subscribe if you haven't already? And I will look forward to speaking to you in the next video.